Hello there, folks. Hey, Joe Wazoo here. Hey, I'm just doing a little example. I got a person who's got a HMI that's pulling uh, well over 100 devices over wireless networks and so forth, and they see some latency from some devices. And I've got already a number of videos showing how you can map tags from real data over to internal tags and display that to get away from the flicker. But in this case, I did something a little bit different. So in this application here, um, I have uh, these tags here are the mapped tags, and these ones here are the internal ones. And what I'm doing here is I'm turning on and off the comms here to those devices. And I've got a program written on here. Program right here, this section right in here is this program runs on tick. I run the program over here in display pages right here. I run the program here. And all this program does, this section right here basically takes the real tags here and moves them over to the display tags. These are all internal tags. Look, I'll show you. If I go over here to tank 1, notice I have a category called map tags. All of these tags, red and green, those are actually mapped to the real values coming from the slave device in this case. And then I have another folder here called display tags. And you notice all of these are blue. That's because these are all internal tags. So it's going to take these real tags and move it over here. However, the problem we have in this application is that we're not scanning the device fast enough, and so we would get a flicker of comms on here, or we wouldn't know what the latest value was. So I added a little bit more here to this, and I'm going to log values when we get a new reading. So I'm basically, let me go all the way to the bottom here. Way down here, the last line of this is taking the most current reading and putting it into an internal tag called last read. This one here is just an internal tag. I think it's over here. It's right here. Temp F last read, just internal. So this is the last step that moves over here. However, up here above, I continually am monitoring the last read compared to the most recent. And if they do not equal, that means I got a new reading in. And what I'm doing then is I'm going to go grab the current hour, the current minute, and the current seconds, and I'm going to load the most recent reading into an array tag called last read with an index of J. I'm going to load the hour into last hour. The current minutes will go into this here, last minutes, and the seconds will go here. And then I'm also doing a beep. I don't know if you can hear it in the background here, but the HMI is beeping every time this thing pulls. I've heard it. Well, I don't know if it shows in the video. We'll see. And then I do the first, I take 20 readings, and when I get to 20, I reorient the index here. So this program here is running. There, it just beeped again. So if I go over here and I'll show the database. Whoops, this is the one I want. Yeah. So this is the one that's running here. And you can see that these are the real tags here. These are the internal tags. And so every time it takes a valid reading, you'll see that I'm doing this and I'm incrementing. This is the military time. I'm also showing it as 8 p.m. so forth. I'm doing this late at night. But so if I was to go over here to this tank here, I heard it beep again. And if I fill this up, turn it off, we should get a different reading here in the milliamp one, but the temperature one's really the one I'm fluctuating. So there, it updated there, but this will log into this array. There. So you notice the temperature readings are awfully right around the 500 or 50 degrees here. So if I go to my simulator, and this is the same one I use in my classes, and I'll just make this thing oscillate between 0.0 to 100.0. If I go back to the tanks, so now you're going to start to see these numbers here will fill in differently. I'm just using a pointer. I have another video on how to add behavior movement. So that's all this is doing. It's indexing down with the behavior. Here in Crimson, if you go to display pages and you're clicking on something, let's say I just click here. If you click on something, there is a behavior movement, and I've added a 2D movement to this arrow here. So if I click on this one time, go to properties, and you see I'm using the J to index -1. So it's always showing, in this case, the most recent read right here. Okay. Now that I'm doing this, let's try something. I also added a few more things here. I'm doing the is device online, which is a simple tag over here. I think it's in this folder right here. Is device online. I should have made it a flag tag, but anyway, and I'm looking at device number 2. See the number 2 there? That comes from this device here is number 2. This HMI is also pulling a couple other devices here, and I've got a bunch of things in here to make the comm slower. But is device on 2, if it goes high, if I go to the triggers tab, when it equals a 1, I'm doing a beep up sound, and then when it goes offline, I'm doing a beep down sound. So let's see here if we can get this thing to go offline. So I'm going to turn this off. I just heard it. I don't know if you saw this, it went 0. So that turned it off, and I'm going to turn it back on. Well, I can sit here and let it sit, and you can see these are all turned off, dashed lines, because I've turned off this. This shows the last reading. So this kind of gets to that internal tag thing where I'm faking this. If this was a normal, this is what the customer sometimes sees because it's slow to pull, but this is really what they want. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on. Let's see if we hear our sound here. It might take a while. Okay, I just heard the sound, and now it's back online, and now we're populating the values here again, and the readings, it should get another valid reading. 81 was that one there. Next one will go here. There it is. So just a pretty cool video on a couple things I'm using here to update the most recent build or the most recent reading from the device. And I thought it was a cool idea to use the beep sound every time it reads. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, if you want to copy this database or anything, please don't be afraid to send me an email and let me know that the database is called the HMI 91 log last read. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day, folks.